Hey guys, this is Jonathan Gardner. This is a tutorial on what it is that I actually did for those huge patches of stuff. Let's go through the commands here. First command that I do is I set, let's see if I can go back to the beginning here. If you can't see the bottom here, I'm going to read it out to you, so don't worry about it. Okay, here we go. Thank goodness this keeps the history. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 4y. Local p equals 0, blah, 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 pos. Okay, the first thing I did, pos, P-O-S, equals game.localPlayer.position, local_player.position, /c. The reason why I did this is because in between commands, I might move my character, and I don't want to have to remember where it was and things like that. So I have the computer remember for me. This is what programs are for, is having the computers do the work for you. So pos equals game.localPlayer.position. Let's go ahead and run that. Blam. Okay, so now we have this variable pos that has the xy position. After I do pos equals game.localPlayer.position, I did r equals 730. That's going to be basically the radius, the extent of the work that I'm going to do. So let's run that command. And then next we have the command s equals game.local_player.surface. This is the world, basically, that you're playing in. Don't know exactly the reason why they separated out the surface as a separate object, but it certainly allows a possibility of having multiple surfaces like an underground or things like that. Anyway, this is a shortcut that we're going to have, s equals game.local_player.surface, because I don't like to type. I like to minimize my typing, so I chose s for a variable name that's very short. And we're going to be saying game.localPlayer.surface a lot, so there we go. Okay, so we have the setup ready here now. Next, we are going to clear out an area. But before you can clear an area out, you have to chart it in the game. If you tell it to go, like, change the terrain of a cell that hasn't been mapped yet, then it's not going to do anything. What do I mean by that? Well, let me press M for map. You see this black area? This is the part of the game that Factorio has not yet loaded. And if you see there's like a certain size, there's a certain, each of the things are like in a cell, basically. And when you walk around and explore, it loads the cells as you walk around. But if you're just sitting there, it doesn't explore, it doesn't create new cells unless you have like radar or something like that, which I think you can kind of see. Anyway, so we have to explore that area. So the command to explore an area is game.localPlayer.force.chart. Okay, and then you do parentheses in Lua. You want to pass in some parameters. And first you tell it the surface, so we're going to use a surface S, comma, and then we're going to do a curly brace. That's a shift square brace if you're using an American English keyboard. I don't know what it is on other countries. And the left top and the right bottom we have to specify. So we say left top, one word, equals, there's two T's, L-E-F-T-T-O-P, equals, and the curly brace X equals pos.x, comma, Y equals pos.y, close curly, comma, right bottom equals, open curly, x equals pos.x+r, y equals pos.y+r, close curly, close parenthesis. Okay. The curly braces are objects in Lua. Objects have attributes. They can also be lists. You can specify the attributes you want with just saying the attribute name equals and whatever you want it to be. In this case, we have two attributes. We have left top and right bottom. The left top attribute is a position. It has an X and a Y, just like the position POS has an X and a Y. And the left top is going to be the position you started at, and the right bottom will be the position moved to the right. That's the X direction by R, which we set to 730, and the bottom is pos.y+r. So let's go ahead and do that right now and see what happens. Blam. Do you see what's going on? It's basically mapping out the area that I told it to map out. It's going to take a while. Okay, there it goes. It's done. The game will freeze when that happens because it's a very expensive command. Next, we are going to change the terrain to be grass. Yes, we will make it grass. The reason why we make it grass is if there's any water there, you can't put the coal and stuff. Well, you can. It just looks stupid, but you can't mine it. So let's change it all to grass. Local p equals parenthesis. For x equals 0, comma r, do. For y equals 0, comma r, do. Okay, this sets up two nested for loops. The outer for loop is iterating from x equals 0 all the way up to x equals r. The inner one is doing y equals 0 to y equals r. It's going to be a combination of all those values. So it's going to be an r times r combination, a lot. So do. The thing we're going to do is table.insert. This is the command in Lua to basically add things to a table, to a list. Okay, so the list is p, and we're going to add this object, name equals grass, position equals pos.x+x, pos.y+y, and then we're going to do end, and then we're going to do s.setTilesP. p. So this is going to set those tiles all to grass. Let's run that command. Blam. It's going to take a while. It's a big dictionary. Everything here is now grass. There was a piece of water, I think, down here. Let's go see what happened to that piece of water. You have to actually go down here and look at it because it's going to redraw the cells. You can see in the map here, you see what happened? This is beautiful. Now, that's not water anymore. That is grass. And as you see, as I walk around the map, it just, as it starts to update on the map there, it changes it all to grass. Okay, everything's grass now. Okay, next. So we've changed everything to grass. Okay, what's after grass? Then we say that we want to get rid of all the trees. We want to get rid of all the resources. That is, if there's any iron or copper or coal, we want to get rid of it. So blam. For I, comma, entity in pairs of s.find entities filtered, where the area is between here and there, comma, type equals resource, do entity.destroy in. So this is going to iterate through all of the entities in a particular area using the s.find entities filtered function. And then iterating across that, it is going to say entity.destroy. Just destroy that entity. Okay, so let's look at it more in detail. So for I, comma, entity in pairs, parenthesis. So we're doing a pairs function. The pairs function in Lua takes an object and iterates across all of its attributes and those attribute values and returns basically like a list of the attribute name and the attribute value as an ordered pair, basically. Okay. So the area of the find entities filtered is, and if you see we're using a curly brace here, not a parenthesis. I'm not entirely sure what that is all about in Lua. You just have to do it this way. So the area starts in the upper left-hand corner, pos.x, pos.y, and goes to pos.x plus 82 and pos.y plus r. Let's change that to pos.x plus r. And this is specified not as an object with x and y attributes, but as a list of two items. Okay, remember, lists and objects are the same thing in Lua. I hope you can see this. If you can't, I don't know what to do. And then it says that I'm looking only for things that are resources. Okay, that's the iron, copper, coal, things like that. Okay, so do. So for each of those items, do this. Entity.destroy. We ignore I, we just take the entity and we say .destroy end. So let's run that command, see what happens. Blam. All of the copper, all of the iron, all of the coal, all of the stone, all of the oil is now gone. Okay, let's go up here and take a look. Now, previously, the reason why there are no trees here is previously I ran the command. It was a bit aggressive. I kind of went too far and I got rid of trees in a very large area. So I'm just going to keep moving right until I find trees and rocks so you can see what the next command does. There we go. There's some trees. Okay, so here's some trees. Okay, let's get rid of the trees. Trees are annoying. This is how you kill a lot of trees. Okay, so let's go up to the command that does it. Here we go. For I, comma, entity in pairs, s.find entities filtered. Does this sound familiar? We just did this for the resources. Now we're going to do type equals tree. Do entity.destroy end. So let's go ahead and do that. Blam. All the trees are gone. Let's find a rock. There's some rocks. Hi, Mr. Rocks. You are not an entity of type anything. You are actually an entity that we're going to find with the name equals to stone-rock. Blam. You're gone now. This entire field is now clear. Everything is grass. There are no resources. There are no trees. There are no rocks. There is no water. It's all grass. So now we have this huge playing area that we can play in. Okay. What do we want to put in? You can see the edge of the area over here. You can see. What do we want to put inside? Well, let's put stone inside. So I'm going to go back up here to this command. Here we go. This one is going to iterate for y equals 0, comma, do, for x equals 0, comma, r, do. So that nested for loop again. We're doing y, x. It doesn't matter which order you do it. S.create entity, name equals Let's go stone. Amount equals 50,000. Position equals the position. Pos.x+x, pos.y+y, and bam. It's going to take a while. It's creating a lot of entities. When it is done, you will see something amazing. I hope it didn't freeze the game here. Maybe stone was not the right thing to do. There we go. Stone. A field full of stone. Okay. Those are the commands that I ran. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I should copy and paste the commands that I ran in the description of this video. If I don't, you can yell at me for not doing that. Say, hey, you forgot to post the commands in the description of the video. I will do that. So I hope this was entertaining and informative and maybe even useful. If you want to do something like what I'm doing, that is how you do it. Obviously, I'm going way overboard with the thing that I'm doing. I'm having a hard time imagining anybody wanting to do anything bigger. No, there's probably somebody out there that says, I'm going to do it bigger. Okay, go ahead, do it bigger. I want to see your bigger base. But this is what it looks like. I'm sure there's a way I can tell the heads-up display there on the map on the upper right to redraw. But I just want to revel in the moment, figuring all this out and getting it all to work. How did I figure all this out? Question. How did I figure this? Well, I went to the wiki and I researched the different commands. I went to various forums and I just kind of saw what people were doing. I read a lot of documentation on the different commands you could do with surfaces and things like that. It took a very long time for me to figure out the whole mapping of surfaces and players and entities and stuff like that. It's not trivial. It's not trivial to figure that out. Once I kind of got it figured out how they all work together, once I kind of saw that the entities aren't like assigned to a tile, they're like really the set of things that exist, and there's like indices. Anyway, the way the data structure was kind of structured was kind of different than what I expected. And it's not the way I'm used to seeing video games do it. Obviously, the guy that designed this game is pretty smart, and I'm not entirely certain why he did it the way he did it. I'm sure that there's a reason, but actually, no, I think I do understand the reason. Anyway, long story short, it took a while for me to figure out how the structure actually works. I had to do a lot of print commands to kind of play around and understand. Did a lot of weird commands just to see what would happen. I had to learn a little bit of Lua, so I went to the Lua website and started reading about lists and iteration through pairs and things like that. And then finally, when I knew the right objects, I kind of knew what you could do with those objects. I just looked up the right commands to run, looked up the name of the entities I wanted to destroy. It took a while for me to figure out how to get rid of the stone. I couldn't figure out what the stone rocks were. I thought maybe they were a type. You just do it by name. That's the way to do it. Somebody on a forum somewhere explained that, so that was cool. So, yeah, if you want to learn how to program, really, you just got to experiment and try things out. You just got to try it out, because you never know what's going to happen. There's that huge stone field on my map. You see, I haven't done that for coal. Obviously, this is all coal. It's not all water. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching this little tutorial interlude of the Season 6. I hope this is good quality. I think it's good quality. I don't see that the microphone is going all the way up when I'm talking into it. So I think my mic is actually turned down a little bit. If the audio quality is bad, I'll re-record this video. Thanks for watching. Take care, and bye-bye.